Ionic Greek was a subdialect of the Attic Ionic dialect group of ancient Greek. History. The Ionic dialect appears to have originally spread from the Greek mainland across the Aegean at the time of the Dorian invasions, around the 11th century BC. By the end of the Greek Dark Ages in the 5th century BC, the central west coast of Asia Minor, along with the islands of Chios and Samos, formed the heartland of Ionia proper. The Ionic dialect was also spoken on islands across the central Aegean and on the large island of Euboea north of Athens. The dialect was soon spread by Ionian colonization to areas in the northern Aegean, the Black Sea, and the western Mediterranean. The Ionic dialect is generally divided into two major time periods, Old Ionic and New Ionic. The transition between the two is not clearly defined, but 600 BC is a good approximation. The works of Homer and of Hesiod were written in a literary dialect called Homeric Greek or Epic Greek, which largely comprises Old Ionic, with some borrowings from the neighboring Aeolic dialect to the north. The poet Archilochus wrote in Late Old Ionic. The most famous New Ionic authors are Anacreon, Theognis, Herodotus, Hippocrates, and, in Roman times, Aretius, Arrian, and Lucian. Ionic acquired prestige among Greek speakers because of its association with the language used by both Homer and Herodotus and the close linguistic relationship with the Attic dialect as spoken in Athens. This was further enhanced by the writing reform implemented in Athens in 403 BC, whereby the Old Attic alphabet was replaced by the Ionic alphabet, as used by the city of Miletus. This alphabet eventually became the standard Greek alphabet, its use becoming uniform during the Koine era. It was also the alphabet used in the Christian Gospels and the Book of Acts. Phonology. Vowels Proto-Greek are greater than Ionic e, in Doric, Aeolic, remains, in Attic, are after e, I, r, but e elsewhere. Attic New Epsilon New Iota Sigma, Ionic New Epsilon Eta New Iota Eta Sigma, young man. Original and Doric greater than Attic Ionic, the original and Doric mu tau eta rho greater than Attic Ionic mu eta tau eta rho, mother. Proto-Greek e, o greater than Ionic e, ow. Compensatory lengthening after loss of w in the sequences enw, eru, onw, orw. In Attic, e, o is not lengthened. Proto-Greek asterisk were greater than Attic kappa omicron rho eta, Ionic kappa omicron epsilon rho eta, girl. Asterisk was greater than rho omicron sigma, omicron rho omicron sigma, mountain. Asterisk kse acute nwos greater than she epsilon nu omicron sigma, she epsilon nu omicron sigma. Guess, stranger. Ionic sometimes removes initial aspiration. Proto-Greek asterisk Helios greater than Attic Helios, Homeric Helios, sun. Ionic contracts less often than Attic. Ionic gamma epsilon nu epsilon alpha, Attic gamma epsilon nu eta, family. Consonants Proto-Greek asterisk k before a, o greater than Ionic k, Attic p. Proto-Greek asterisk o greater than Ionic kappa omega sigma, Attic pi omega sigma, in whatever way, in which way. Proto-Greek asterisk tt greater than Ionic ss, Attic tt. This Ionic feature made it into Koine Greek. Proto-Greek asterisk tata greater than Ionic tau alpha sigma sigma omega, Attic tau alpha tau tau omega, I arrange. Grammar. Word order. Ionic had a very analytical word order, perhaps the most analytical one within ancient Greek dialects. Glossary. Beta delta eta sigma abdis scourge. Epsilon theta lambda omicron nu ethlon. Epsilon iota nu alpha tau alpha iota en or Archontes in Miletus and Chalcis. Lambda gamma epsilon iota eta Algeria illness algophobia. mu pi omega tau iota sigma ampetus ebb, being sucked back, i.e., of c, nu omicron upsilon in now, alpha pi alpha tau omicron upsilon rho iota alpha apatoria pan Ionic festival, pi pi alpha lambda lambda alpha zeta epsilon iota nu aporlazen, chi alpha nu tau iota omicron nu accension, beta alpha theta rho alpha kappa omicron iota barthracoe in pontus babacoe, beta rho omicron kappa omicron sigma bruco species of locust, beta upsilon sigma sigma omicron sigma bissus, gamma alpha nu omicron sigma ganos Ephesian, nu theta alpha tau alpha and theta here, rho gamma upsilon lambda omicron sigma ergilos, sigma tau iota k omicron sigma Hestiachos Ionic epithet for Zeus, related to Hestia, gamma omicron sigma egos, epsilon lambda iota omicron sigma Elios, alpha sigma tau iota iasti, the Ionic way, delta eta forested mountain, eta tau rho omicron sigma iotris, iota, kappa omicron sigma ikos, kappa alpha rho eta car head, kappa iota theta omega nu kithen, kappa omicron epsilon nu coin noesis, kappa omicron sigma coios, kappa upsilon theta rho eta k3, mu upsilon tau tau alpha shemitax, she omicron upsilon theta iota delta alpha iotas alpha de Ionians from Zoo thus, delta mu eta odm, pi eta lambda omicron sigma pelos thick wine, lees, eta chi iota eta ricci flood tide, loan word to Atticus alpha chi iota alpha rachia, sigma alpha beta alpha kappa omicron sigma sabakis kian, sigma alpha mu omicron iota samoi lupins, tau alpha rho omicron iota tauroi, phi omicron iota nu iota kappa eta iota alpha Phoenix Iowa grammata Lydians and Ionians called so the letters chi lambda omicron sigma sigma omicron sigma klossos, omicron oily exclamation of discontent pi iota phi omega nu eta mu alpha sigma chi epsilon tau lambda iota alpha sigma tau iota kappa nu pi alpha rho omega sigma iota.